I have some duck stories to share, and I feel like sharing them. So I go to my favorite spot yesterday with my partner, and I go around the perimeter and I notice that there was a female duck being attacked and drowned by a bunch of males. So basically, what happens in mating season, if there's not enough females to balance out the male population, they attack and sometimes they will kill the female duck. Now, what was problematic is this was a wild mallard, and at this location, there's a mixture of domesticated breeds, which are heavyweight breeds, and mallards are not very big. They're like the size of a hamburger. Some of these ducks are like the size of a football, or, well, yeah, even larger than that. So they were unfortunately drowning and attacking her, and she wasn't able to fend them off. So I was able to get her out of the water and hold the duck like a hamburger. She was soaking wet, which is not a good sign because ducks are waterproof. So if you see a wet duck, you got a problem there. So I was able to kind of, what's the term? Swaddle her in a towel and dry her off. And I noticed that her wings were okay. I did try to call wildlife rescue and veterinarian clinics. Unfortunately, when it comes to wildlife, vets usually will not help intervene. They will just refer you to the Game Commission or wildlife rescue. So unfortunately, the time of day, there was nothing I could do about that. So I ended up, just swaddling her, drying her off, making sure her injuries were, able to be healed out in the wild. So I couldn't release her back where she was because there were too many males for her, and the males would just continue to attack her because it's mating season for them. So after about an hour of walking around, not sure what to do, trying to get resources, trying to call the wildlife rescues, I was going to just examine her and re-release her. So I put her over on the other side where there weren't any other ducks. Like, she was able to have access to the main lake with the other ducks, but she was able to, make that choice herself, and there weren't any males around. So I go to release her, and I unfold her from the towel. She's dried off enough, and I go to place her, and she V-lines, just flies right into the water. And unbeknownst to me, there was a fisherman there in his trout season. He was by himself. He looked like a disappointed father because my duck just flew right at him and was just... He stared at me, I stared at the duck, we stared at each other. My partner was like, maybe we should go. And I was like, yeah, I felt really bad. I didn't mean to release her and her to just fly right to him. But it was good that she flew. She was above the water. She was dried off enough. And she had all the energy that was restored to her. So that's good. I know she has a little bit of, cuts on her head, around her eyes. So hopefully with time and just being away from, getting attacked, that can heal with time. Because I unfortunately did not know what to do, and it was kind of like a wildlife will choose wildlife, and she chose to fly back into the water, and I observed her, unfortunately, at the expense of a trout fisherman. But seems like she was good, so I was proud. I was like, okay, good, I rescued a duck. I go to eat. People in the area were like, oh, how's the duck? So I shared the story that I just shared with you, and I eat. After I'm done eating, I was like, oh, I want to go to the gas station and get some corn, because they sell corn that you can just use to feed the ducks and geese, because it's not prohibited to feed the wildlife and domesticated geese and ducks. So they're just like, hey, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So I grab my corn, I sit down, and I'm feeding these ducks and geese, and I get back to where my car was parked, and I noticed this Peking duck. I think it was a female Peking duck because she wasn't as big as a male would be. And I notice her leg. She has wire wrapped around her leg, and I was like, this isn't gonna happen. No way. I'm not gonna let this duck have this fishing wire cut around her leg. So I feed her, and I was able to pick her up. She's the size of me. I'm holding her, and I was asking these fishermen, hey, can you cut this wire off of her leg? So one guy and his little daughter that he was fishing with come over, and he cuts off the wire, makes sure that she doesn't have any injuries. I'm able to put her back on the ground, but before I do, his daughter, she probably was 4 years old, she's like, oh, can I pet it? And I look at the dad, I'm like, is that cool? I don't want to, do something that the parent isn't cool with. So I was like, he nods his head, so I put the duck down, she's petting the duck, my partner's petting this duck, the duck is so soft. But the best thing is, 2 ducks were in crises, and I was able to resolve them. Maybe that's why the nickname Mama Duck came from me, but no, I was really happy with the dinner, because the food there was amazing as per usual, and also the fact that I was able to save that one mallard and get her to, be safe and heal in a different environment where she has access to the rest of the ducks, and then cutting the fishing line off of the Peking duck's leg. So yeah, good Samaritan duties. Be a mama duck. And I just figured to share that story because why not?